much going. Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
I don't hear us on the computer. That's my.
Now we on there.
All right, bet.
Now we on there.
All right, bet.
Now we on there.
Just turn this off. Oh, I never made an Instagram post. If you feel like you want to do it.
Yeah.
What's going on, you guys, man? It's your boy, Official Go Getter. We getting set up over here with my boy Flash.
It's your boy
man.
Flash. Let me record this video real quick. You see us, man. See us, man. Coming live on Twitch today, though. I'm gonna put the link right here. Click the link. Come join the live, man. We getting started right now. You see us, man. See us, man.
Yeah, man.
Coming live on Twitch today, though. I'm gonna put the link right here.
Our first live back in a couple weeks, man. It's been a few weeks. We've been working on that special thing that we've been talking about, that we've been working on, man. That product. And we is right there at the finish line, man. You guys are gonna be getting that drop soon. No more excuses for nobody, man. 2026. This is the year where we all get to understand and invest in stocks, crypto, the importance of assets, and that's what we're gonna be talking today. That is the breakdown of what we're gonna be speaking about. If you're not investing, you are falling behind. That is just what it is in 2026, right? And that's just not a good. That is not just a clickbait title. That is not just a headline that we're just saying. No, literally, you are falling behind in the financial system if you're not investing. And this is why investing is no longer optional. And not saying this just to scare people, make people fearful, and say that you're wrong for not doing what you're doing, or not doing what you need to do. No, we're just helping you be aware. So before we get started, Flash, what you got, man?
Yeah. Don't feel discouraged because, you know what I'm saying, you may not have no assets right now. But now the time is not to get some, So, yeah.
Yes, sir. So let's get straight up into it, man. So inflation is silently taxing you, right? I know we've heard the word inflation. It's been getting thrown around TikTok, thrown around Instagram. Trump's been talking about it. It's been thrown around. So inflation essentially just means that your money is losing value every year, right? The average inflation is 2 to 3%. That's what they say. But that's what they say on the paper. But if you really, really calculate inflation to our day-to-day lives, it's been higher, right?
For sure.
Higher percentages, and it's been higher recently. So what it just means is your $100 today is not going to equate to $100 in 5 to 10 years, right? The same thing that costs $100 today may cost $115 in 5 years, which is what we see today from gas prices, rent prices, everyday living prices. So if your money is not growing, it's shrinking. That's just plain and simple, right? If your money is not growing, if you left it sitting in a shoebox or a bank, it's actually shrinking in value, right? So saving money without investing, that's actually going backwards. And a lot of us haven't been taught that, right? They just didn't teach it to us because the system isn't set up in a way for everybody to win. Kind of just got to figure it out for yourself, right? So inflation is the rate of increase in prices over a given period of time, right? This is the exact definition. Inflation is typically a broad measure, such as the overall increase in prices or the increase in the cost of a living country, right? So that was just the breakdown in inflation. Before the next slide, you got anything you want to say, brother?
Yeah, you broke it down.
Let's do it.
The wealthy play is a different game. Rich people don't work for money. Money works for them in all aspects, right? And I'm going to touch on that before I read the rest. An asset as well is something that accumulates over time. It doesn't necessarily need to be a stock, right? It doesn't need to be crypto. It could be your mind as well. You know what I'm saying? You picking up a book and you get in you know what I'm saying? This is what the rich is doing. Majority of wealthy people own assets, stocks, businesses, real estate, businesses as well. You know what I'm saying? Investing in the business. Most middle, lower class rely on income only, which is, it's not cool necessarily. You have to start somewhere. Everybody has to start somewhere. But the point and the objective is to get out of that lower middle class. You know what I'm saying? And only relying on income solely.
I created this slide. It means to say one income.
Oh, okay.
One income only. That makes it make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
Even further to the point, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Getting out of that mindset of survival when it comes to only having one income only, having multiple businesses, having multiple venues and avenues that you can put yourself in at different times. You feel me? Assets equals cash flow. Assets equals cash flow plus appreciation. The difference isn't income, it's ownership. That is what every person in the world should be striving to get towards: ownership, having something that they can call theirs, as well as something that grows and appreciates over time. Because that's what an asset is, man. Get you some assets.
Yeah, that's what made it easier for me. Not chasing a specific number amount and just chasing owning specific assets and just chasing ownership itself, right?
Yeah.
Because the more you own, the more you spend your time learning about things to own, and the more you start treating your mind like an asset and growing that over time, money becomes inevitable. More income becomes inevitable. So your jobs alone, they're not gonna build you wealth, right? Your job is gonna get you started. Period. You know, I'm here to say that. I'm sure Flash is gonna say the same thing. The job is there to get you started. That's your first investor, right? But it's not gonna build you that wealth, period, at all, right? This cannot be your end all be all. You can't just think that your job is the way for the next 20 years, right? Especially nowadays, because things and times are different. 20 years ago, when our parents were going to work, they didn't have social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, as a resource and seeing all these different avenues to build their money, right? We do. There's absolutely no excuse, right? So for our next 20 years, there's absolutely no reason for us to stay out of job, right? And that's not to talk down to people out of job, but it's just saying, as individuals, young individuals like we are, right? Especially if you're young watching this video, and even if you're 40, 30, a lot's changed in the next 5 to 10 years. There's ways out of the race that you're in, right? So time is limited, income is capped, right? So you can only work so much. There's only so much time in a day, and there's only so much income you can make from your job, right? So if you get paid that $40K a year, right, there's only so many hours that you can put into a day. You can't work 24 hours a day, right? If you're relying on overtime, right? You know, I had to get through that mindset of, I'm not going to be I'm gonna be humble in order to take overtime, right? But I'm not gonna rely on overtime, right? And I'm saying this in a way where if you're working a job and your only mindset to get more money and get ahead, to spend more hours at the job, eventually that's gonna kill your health, right? But if you end up saying, if I could take the time to spend more hours at this job, right, then that means I could take the time to spend more hours when I get home to build something that'll get me outside of this job, right? Then you can do both, right? So I'm not gonna pick up 2 overtime shifts in 1 week. You know, I'm not gonna burn myself out. Why? Because I need time for this, right? But I'm gonna pick up 1 overtime shift because I know that's gonna give me ahead. I can use the extra money. I'm not too cocky. I'm not saying that I don't need to put in work, right? But I'm also saying I need to put in work for myself, right? So there's only so many hours in a day. There's a limit to hours you can work. Investing allows money to grow while you're asleep, right? If I end up taking this money and I'm putting it somewhere to grow over time and investing into assets, crypto, I can wake up to and benefit from when Meta drops a new news and they're up $20, $30 overnight, right? When Meta is working on AI investments and their stock grows from 600 to 800, 900 over the next 2 years, right? That's growing while I'm asleep. I know that I'm putting my money somewhere that's working for me. So even while I'm at the job, it's no longer feeling like I'm stuck, right? It's feeling like I'm there for a purpose. And that's how the job becomes your first investor, because it allows you to invest into the things that you really want to do. You can work 40 hours and your money can work 24/7 like I was just talking about. You can work 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, but your money can work 24/7. And if you, there's nothing wrong with working that 40, that extra 50, right, 60, 70 hours a week, but it only becomes wrong when you say this is my only option or my only solution, right? When you should really focus on, say you may work that 60, 70 for 3 months straight, and now you just stack your coins up and you put your money somewhere where it's working for you 24/7 now. That's how you should play it, right?
The cost of waiting. The longer you wait, the more you pay. And I want you to really understand that, because just like you said, that example you used where Meta jumped to $900, $1,000 in the next 2 or 3 years, you getting in at Meta at $900 is, come on, man. They're $400 right now, right?
And Meta's at 622.
Oh my God.
Come on, we're gonna get that another drop more. We're gonna get that another drop though. Meta's gonna come back down in that 580. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm gonna load the boat.
You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean you don't get assets or you wait for that asset or that opportunity, because regardless, you're still dollar cost averaging. Perfect example right there. You know what I'm saying? Starting early beats starting big. You don't need to have 5 bands that you want to throw into the market. First of all, that's not even the right psychology, because you're going to get burnt. I talked about that just a second ago. You want a dollar cost average. You want to be able to put on a very extreme level $100 a day or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to put $200, maybe $100 at the end of every week, right? So there's 52 weeks, you put $100, that's $5,200 at the end of the year. Doing that math, 200. Come on now, we could compound an effect. Compound growth rewards consistency. You putting money into something that's growing over time every single week. By the end of the year, you're gonna look back and was like, dang, I'm glad that I did not wait. I would have cost myself half of my portfolio. I would have cost myself half of the time that I invested into buying this real estate property or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever asset you choose, regardless. Waiting is what's gonna get you stuck, and staying in that job and doing them 40 hours and being comfortable with that 40. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people that's usually what happens, man. You gotta find those ventures outside of your 40. Use your 40 as your leverage, because at the end of this 40 hours of this week, you have, I think it's like 100 some hours, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the rest of the week.
If you work 8 hours a day, you sleep 8 hours, you try to sleep 8 hours. After that, you got 8 hours to yourself, really. So each day, the same 40 hours a week you're giving them, you got 40 hours a week to give yourself.
Come on. Exactly. Use that time to bow. And be all right with staying down, but that doesn't mean wait because you're staying down. Missing years is missing thousands. I just said this. In 1 year, you're missing thousands. If you started in March, you're down a couple. But so say your goal was to get 5,200 in a portfolio or whatever. You are, because you waited until March 18th, 19th, and you didn't start investing January 1st, man, you already lost about two bands right there, which is all right. But you see what happens when you wait and you don't get into that, you don't get into those assets. Time in the market is less than timing the market. You feel me? Get in that bag. You want to say anything?
Nope, all good. How to stay connected, man. So you got us on the Twitch, right? We're on the Twitch right now. You got us on the YouTube. You got us on the Discord, man. You got us on the Instagram. Go tune in with the Instagram. We drop videos every day. Flash drops his reels Thursday, Friday. I drop my reels Monday, Tuesday. And we just talk about exactly what we're talking about right here, right? In the Discord, we talk about exactly what we're talking about right here as far as how to really apply it, right? And that's how to stay connected with us, right? So you got anything you want to touch on before we move to the charts or something?
Man, join the Discord.
Join the Discord.
Join the Twitch right now. We live right now, man. Let me see. Yeah, we live.
Join the Discord. Tuesday Takedown.
Come on.
Monday Madness, right? We drop videos every week in the Twitch, man. go ahead, get those breakdowns on the Twitch. I just dropped exactly how I would invest in it as a beginner. This is exactly how I would invest. Exactly how I would use my 9 to 5 as my leverage. We went over that. Flash went over going over the crypto market, stake, all this stuff. Break that down for us, bro.
Yeah. Quick overview. Yesterday I talked about stacking, and so real quick, that's nice. Real quick, stacking is you buying your asset and you're putting it in this platform because it already grows over time when you buy the asset. So you can stack your crypto and put it in another form of assets that grows even faster than it would over the yearly spend. So you can stack and earn yield with DeFi, but specifically what I talked about yesterday was XRP and using Flare as that engine. Yeah, man, we here every week, man, Monday, Tuesday. Get in that bag, man. Go tune into them videos. It's nothing but gems.
All right, bet. Yeah, you gotta tune into the videos, man. You gotta tune in. You know, you gotta tune into the sauce that we got into the Discord. But right now, man, let's talk about these charts for a little minute, man. We got to recap on what's been going on in the world the last couple of weeks since we haven't been up on here. But we gonna make this make sense, right? So this is the S&P 500 SPY. We break this down because this gauges the overall the stock market, right? Right now, you can clearly see on the 4-hour time frame.
Bless you.
Excuse me, y'all. Let me go grab a tissue.
Good. Yeah, you see this Ranger going. I ain't gonna take too much of what you. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Go ahead. You started.
And it's you see that we're in the range. You've been kind of going up and down, man. Yeah.
And now we moving down to that downside, right?
Yeah.
So SPY hit a new low. We just closed literally at 1 p.m. at 660. I'm gonna give another quick support resistance type of thing, right? This is what I'm gonna bring up. So when it comes down to looking at charts on the stock market, right? You got resistance, which is where this is not even just a stock market, crypto market. Stock and crypto market, any financial market really, even gold, all the stuff, right? You got where price is resisting. So if you end up pulling up a chart and you end up wanting to dissect it and go into technical analysis, when we look at the chart, that's what we call it, technical analysis. Right here, I'm at the circle. You got where price is resistant, right? And then you got, so that's around 697, 700. Then you got where price is supporting that, where it's bouncing off of, right? So right now, I'm gonna call this like, you can think of them as like two brick walls, right? Put a rectangle right there, or put a rectangle right over here. Price is failing to get below 660, where we just ended up closing at today. Okay, we're not gonna do it. Oh. So price ended up closing right here at 660. If you're looking at your chart, I'm on the daily time frame, right? Price is rejecting from 697. Price closed today from 660, right? It keeps bouncing off that 660. The reason why I'm looking at this and the reason why it's important to me is because when it comes down to support and resistance, we use it to gauge where price is at, right? So what part of the range is price at? Right now, we can see price is clearly at the bottom range. We are $20 away from this high range of the resistance point. But right now, because I know that when we get to this point, we reject, and when we get to this point at 660, we bounce off. The only two things that matter to me is 697 and 660. What happens when we get to those prices, right? And the reason why I do that is because you got so many different things that you're looking at on the stock market, so many different prices and so many different candlesticks. It's kind of hard to figure out what matters. But this boxes in the price for me. So now when I'm looking at Meta, when I'm looking at SoFi, right? I can go to SoFi, another company right now, and I could frame and right here clearly see we're rejecting from up here $19, right, within the past week, right? We're supporting and bouncing off right here to 1680. Today, we closed at 1715. Yesterday, we bounced off 1651 or that 1680 support. We came right back up. Today we're heading towards that same support level. Now let's see what happens. Do we cross that support level and go even further to the downside? Or do we bounce back up, stay inside the range, and then move back up to the upside? Because that's all price will do when it's in a range. It'll literally just go up, down, up, down, up. And then when you are able to gauge when the range is breaking out, or not when the range is breaking out, where the range is at, and then see when it breaks out, that's where you can profit as a trader. That's where you can profit as, even a buy and hold investor. As an investor, from my standpoint, I'm looking at SoFi right now, and if I already know I have shares of SoFi that I bought before, and I see that we're at this level right here, this is a support level. This is telling me, well, this could potentially, based off this whole chart, this is a good buying opportunity, right? Not just because the price is low, but because of how I see the reactions of when we get around to this price. So that was a quick support and resistance for me, my boy. But overall, man, the stock market is kind of in that frenzy, man. When war goes on, like Iran's happening with the war, and we got U.S. doing what they're doing, I don't really know too much about it, but I know enough about it to know that it's affecting the stock market. We don't like uncertainty, and when the stock market gets uncertainty, you get people selling their shares, man. So that's the breakdown for me for the stocks, man. What you got for us on the crypto, my brother?
The crypto, man. Let's talk about the crypto market. Let's go to Bitcoin first. We got the dominator. We're on the daily time frame. Just have a little bit. Man, right now price is sitting at $70,000, 71,000, and we just like that supporting resistance breakdown we just had. You can see that price has touched this level. It's touched it multiple times, but 3 major times where it crossed through it, right? And then as well as this 74,000 range, $74,000 crypto or Bitcoin, we went up and we just rejected off of that. And this is within about a month. It's about a month in the time, right? So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit more. And we see that we're having ultimately a good week. The last few weeks, the markets were draining, and we had a Bitcoin that go as low as 60,000, which was a great buying opportunity for Bitcoin. Now, this is you know what I'm saying. This was a perfect time for you to get into it, because the next following weeks, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, on the 5th or on the 6th week, this week, Bitcoin jumped all the way to about 74,000. Right above it, 76. And was that yesterday? I think that was yesterday. No, I lied. That was Monday. Okay, bang. That was on Monday, and there was a lot of reflection within this. Ooh, look at this. This chop within that range right here. Low key, we might need to update these levels. These is good levels, but might be time for them for a new.
It's a perfect example right here. So Flash is about to go through and break down the levels that he sees on Bitcoin to gauge where the market is at.
Bang.
So this is a good example. Pay attention to how he do his
right
sauce.
Here. 97. First range I see on the daily, as well as the low, right at about 61, where we just recently tapped multiple times, 61,000. And what I like to do when we get to this level, this point, I like to go to lower time frames to get those lower level chop sessions, because then we get to really. Did I delete them? Okay. So now we can get to them lower times where it look like we have another level here, right at 79, and then just a little bit higher around 65, and then one more level right here where we kind of just rejected off of at that 74,000 range. And so now we're on a downward trend. And as you can see, if you go in even lower and deeper, you can see exactly where the price could be doing either on that day or that week, whatever your outlook is for it. But yeah, this is the support on resistance. Let me see. You already broke it down. You see price rejected right here, right at 74. Just a little bit higher, actually. I should actually bring this up just a little bit. Right there, about 75. Yeah, right around 75, and we're rejecting. So now we look at the other crypto market. We look at the other cryptos within the market. Everything else is down. in a downtrend. Everything else here will be a buying opportunity. Flare is hitting lows like no other, man. You know I'm a Flare advocate, man. Going in and get you some Flare early. We had the last time Flare got to this as low as this price was 2023. Yeah, right at 80th of a penny, right? So perfect buying opportunity. I do want to go to CoinMarketCap real quick so you can get a bigger scope of the crypto markets. Today, we're down about 4% on the market cap, right? But as you can see right here, it does say that we're in alt season. And I had kind of touched on this a little bit yesterday. Let's go alt, no, back. Let's go the daily movers or the weekly movers. And we have a crypto named River that's up 100%. Let's click on that real quick. It is an altcoin. Not the yearly. Let's go weekly. Fine. There we go. As you can see, man, we're on the hourly. Let's go 4 hour. At the beginning of this week, or not even this week, the 16th. At the beginning of the week, on the 14th, on the 15th, we was at $20. Ultimately, we're up. River's up 95%. Crazy. It's all season. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at something that.
What does that mean again for the viewers? The alt season versus the difference between the seasons.
Yep, I got you. So the difference between the seasons is on one side we have Bitcoin, which is the yellow, orange. You feel me? And then on this side the blue. And yesterday we was at 51 altcoin season. Blue is alt, right? And what that means is Bitcoin already had its push. If we go back here and we see. Let me go back to the daily. Bitcoin already had its push back in October, right? When we would expect Bitcoin to be, or the crypto market to be having that push, but we were coming out of that bull market. So in the crypto market, Bitcoin moves first and then the altcoins. Bitcoin's had its move at the end Q4 of 2025, and now it is alt season. We're moving up. Now it's the alts time to shine. We have Caspa up here that's up 26%. Just the name XRP, we're up 5%, right? We were just coming for XRP. We was coming out of the lows of like 120. I think the lowest we hit was like 115 on February. 112, $1.12 for one XRP. So ultimately, man, if you were watching the markets in the last couple weeks, could have gotten into a number of altcoins and had a return on your money, ultimately. Yeah, man.
Alt season,
man. For real, alt season. And $70,000 Bitcoin is still a great buying opportunity. It costs a lot to manufacture and mine Bitcoin. Not manufacture, but mine Bitcoin. The mining price is substantially low. You're good. It's low, so yeah. Bitcoin's still at a good price.
Some latest updates on Bitcoin right here on TradingView. Real quick, Bitcoin may see high volatility around the March 18th and 19th. There's a Fed meeting, meaning the Federal Reserve. They're going to be speeding and meeting up, and quarterly options expire. Key levels 74,000 to 75,000. Traders watch oil moves and geopolitics as extra drivers. Spot Bitcoin ETFs have been soaking up Bitcoin supply, offsetting sell pressure. That's some stuff that we'll have to explain that we don't want to explain. But now, you know what that did trigger me is I want to break down the oil crisis that's been going on. I don't want to say crisis, but so I'm sure that you guys have noticed yourselves that oil has gone up in price. I mean, I think it was yesterday. It was like $5, $4.98, or maybe we hit, and then you got even. All right, now we got the Federal Reserve up there. I feel like I think it was like $8 or something, and I think they hit as high as $8 in California.
Yes.
Right. So, and we're gonna be talking about how that kind of reflects the market and why the market reacts to something like that, right? And why it even happened anyways. So from what I had got, and maybe you know a little bit more, but when they had went to the war with Iran and you know how they got that war going on, essentially there's some oil passageways, some passageways that how a lot of countries get oil, they're a little stopped up. And the biggest one, I guess, is called the Strait of Hormuz. I don't know how to pronounce it. It is the biggest one, so I don't know how to pronounce it. So we're on track so far. You know, this is brother right here is how do I explain it, man? He's the deep diver. He's the deep diver, and he gonna come with conspiracies, man. So saying that to say we on the right track, and with that, with the passageways of countries being able to get oil being stopped up, that causes oil to be put in causes less supply of oil, right? And when there's less supply, things cost more. And now that we know that it's stopped up, we're seeing oil cost a little bit more. So that's just a kind of wrapping your guys' brain around why oil might cost so much. And then how, if you're up to date with the market, right, you'll understand how the market affects the world, right? So that's the only reason why we know. And when it comes down to the stock market, you get a lot of selling pressure because now that oil is in this position, it causes uncertainty within the world, within the economy. And when it comes down to investors, they don't like uncertainty. I explained it the best way I could. How would you do it, bro?
I got you. Yeah. So you said a lot of things. Everything that you said was right. But there's another driver as well to why our economy is the way it is right now. We have a red day today. You know what I'm saying? Like in the past couple of days, oil is the safe haven asset. More than gold. Entire economies run off of oil. That being said, I don't know how to pronounce that passageway either. Yeah. But China gets their oil from there. Russia gets their oil from there. Even we get oil from there, if I'm not mistaken. The U.S. And so that's sitting right on Iran's territory, just like you said. And they stopped that, which is having the world go into crisis, right? We had oil go to I think it was like $120 a barrel. Yep. And it says oil prices on average will remain around $88 a barrel 6 months from now, which would be a good thing because that's where it is. What I wanted to touch on was the fact that our dollar was 96. It should be worth 100. It should be worth $1. $1 should be worth $1, but instead it was worth 96 cents because of inflation, just like you said. So when when oil is rising, you can buy oil with treasury bonds. Yeah. So when I don't know who it would even be, when banks bought oil with treasury bonds, say at $88, $81, whatever it was before this war started, when they have that price go up of oil $140 in a day, right? Our dollar then goes up, which would then put other assets down. That's so now that.
Yeah, great breakdown, man. Shout out to Flash.
Come on. Let me make it make sense though, so you can really see what I mean.
Yeah.
This is the U.S. dollar currency index.
DXY. If you want to look that up on TradeView, it just popped up. Yeah.
We are sitting at $100. Look. Over the last couple weeks, man, we were at $100, or this is last month, or January. At the beginning of the year, we was at $110. That was when gold, silver, the commodity markets, right? All of these things were...
They're on a tear.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So then we had this happen. We had this big drop all the way there. Then we see gold hit all-time highs. I think it was like 5,400. We had silver hit damn near $100. I think they did hit $100. Anyways, all of the commodity markets and safe haven assets went up while our dollar went down because people are getting into safe haven assets and not having cash. Now, because their cash is worth, it was the dollar index was 110.
Yeah. And now so that was before we had that rally in the gold and silver.
Yep.
And the commodities rally caused the dollar to lose value.
Yep.
So before we was up here, and then when we get that gold and silver rush, when people was putting their dollar up in here, that caused the dollar to go all the way down.
Backwards. Yes.
Yeah.
When this comes up here and our dollars causes safe haven assets to go up.
That's what I just said.
Oh, okay. My fault.
No, I was saying on the way when it was going up to the upside. That was before the investment in the safe.
The rally. Yep. My fault.
That's what I was just trying to put together.
Why I heard it backwards. That was me.
No, you're good.
So now, as you can see, we're on the daily. Let's go to the 4 hour. We're up in this upper. We're moving up. It's a bullish index, right? We see gold. Gold's dropping. Look at this big spike that we just had the other day, right? What day was this? Oh, not even the other day. I'm tweaking. My fault. We supposed to be looking right here. This already happened. This is that big spike. The dollar is going up, right? The dollar is going up while we have gold going down. Silver, looking at the same chart, going down. We were to look at copper, right? The same thing. It's still going down. So this is what's happening in our economy now. We have $100 dollar index, right? DXY is moving up. Now assets is moving down. So this is another way to see what's up with the market, with every market as well, because SPY is at 100. It's at 661. SPY's low-key doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
And the crazy thing is, like, we are going down, but after everything you just said, it kind of seems more like a stabilization.
Yes.
We haven't hit a point where we're going down yet. I mean, the market and our whole economy
like a correction.
we're like in a correction. That's exactly what I would say. When the market comes, like, the market moves in cycles. Like I mentioned that in the video. Let's just zoom out to the weekly time frame. You see how many, like, we've been going up for weeks, you know, like weeks after weeks, like
weeks.
Like I was just watching Market Mondays the other day. Like like we've been in the markets, and since we've been in the markets with the age that we're at, we've seen nothing but 20% returns each year.
Yep.
But that is so unheard of.
Yeah.
That is so, like, even 10 years ago, a 9% return, a 20% return would be like you're God, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to God, because
shout out to God.
But saying this to say, the market will always have breathers, right? The market will always hit a point where it will correct itself. And with everything going on, it's going to be a different situation that caused it, but it's the same thing. You hit the point where, you know, I got this straight line right here, but let me just make you got here, 2020, then we get here, 2022, then we go a little lower, 2022, then we go all the way from 2022 to 2024, that high. Then we go lower, now we're here. I wouldn't be surprised, there's no being surprised if we end up hitting a here to go back here before we go up higher. So the market moves in phases. Bless you, brother.
Good looking.
And that was a great breakdown from Flash, and that's exactly how everything comes together full circle in the stock market, with the world, with the government, the economy, and that's why staying up to date with this stuff will help you even stay up to date with your life.
Yes.
Right? Because now when we go see, and my girl, she's over here, I don't drive personally, but my girl, she drives her car, and she's over here like, why are gas prices so high? I can sit here and break down. They just hit the Strait of Hormuz in Iran, right? Causing the way of oil being transported to be stopped up, causing the gas prices to go higher. And this is just the beginning. Who knows how long it's going to take, right? And who knows if it's going to go even further. You know, Seattle may hit $7, $8 in gas prices.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You know, so yesterday Trump had said that the Iran war was completely over, right? So there was speculation. I gotta pull up crude real quick.
Oh yeah.
Where the plus at? Am I blind? Right here. Oh, crude. I'm gonna go Pepperstone. Now we got the price of crude, right? Look at this chart, man. This is not a good chart.
I think when I did it was CLI.
Yeah, CL right here.
CL right there.
Let me go to the daily. Let me see if we still live.
Yeah, we live. She know we live. Unless she don't. Unless the live is tripping.
No,
That's
we
the
in
only
there.
reason why she would call. Let me go on focus mode. I'm out of here. We still good?
Yeah, we still live. We double check. We still live. Yeah, man. We got crude. Just like I said in that one day, this is the daily time frame. That whole day we had the low of $79. We dropped, then we shot up all the way to $120 a barrel for crude, man. We obviously had that correction. This is all in a day. And this is why you want to protect your bag. Specifically because oil should not shoot up this high and then drop that low in a span of a day, ever. You know that we're in a type of market that's getting janked. 31%, right? $38 in one day. A $38 move in oil is unheard of. Just like,
yeah, that's manipulation, man.
That's manipulation.
The oil should never be that high. Oil is. That's like you said, like, you know, that's how you know things are going on within our world. You know, oil should stay in a range, right? And maybe, not even maybe, we'll actually touch on, now that we spoke about it, next Wealth Wednesdays could be something where we touch on oil and how this stuff coincides with the market in a way.
Are you good?
Yeah, I was hearing myself. I don't know why I was hearing. That's because I was playing the video as. I don't know how the video started playing. We're already 40 minutes in. Anyways. Yeah, we'll come with an oil breakdown and figure out how it coincides with the market and everything.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Same with Bitcoin too. Everything. Bitcoin is a risky asset. It's a risky asset class. We had already talked about a couple weeks ago. I see Bitcoin going lower, though. I see the market going lower. Just like you said, we've been going up in that bullish trend for years, since 2023. And it's time for that pullback, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I don't think we get like a huge 20% dip or anything super, super crazy. I still think that it'll be a reasonable pullback, 10%, you know, that's normal. Why am I hearing it come out the video? I can hear us right now for some reason. Anyways, man, I don't know what's going on with the mic and what's going on, not the mic, what's going on with the everything that's going on with Twitch, man, but I'm going to close this out, man. It's your boy, Official Go Getter. Flash, you got anything you want to say before we close out?
It's your boy, Flash, man. Hit the Discord. New Fresh Market Mondays. Monday Madness, my fault. New Monday Madness in there, new Tuesday Takedown in there, man. Tune into those videos. Hit the Instagram, hit the YouTube, subscribe on the YouTube, man. Subscribe to the Twitch. Yeah, that's it, man. Full circle wealth.
Yes, sir. He already said it. Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. See you guys next week.